Good afternoon, everyone. I am back at my next project here, and want to give you a quick overview before I start diving in and sharing step by step what I'm doing. Basically, what I'm doing is I've got a new workshop here that I put in a couple years ago, and I've got 12-foot eave height. As you can see, if I back up a bit here, you can see the height. And as you can see up there in that attic, I ran a bunch of joists and decked it out for some additional storage, as I don't have a basement here in Texas. So what I decided to do is, as you can see here, I boxed in an opening and decided I'm going to build an electric lift for moving material up into the attic and getting a lot of the clutter that I have down around the shop floor, around the periphery of the building. I'd like to get a lot of that stuff up in this area. So what I've started doing here is I've got my 2-inch channel, and I've got some wheels that are going to run in this track, and these two pieces are going to be opposing one another. Right now I'm cutting them so that I get them exactly the same length. But if you can imagine, I'm going to have a runner on this side and then another one on this side going all the way up, fastened to the wall, of course fastened down to the concrete, and then I'm going to have a cart that runs in the U-channel, and it's going to be lifted by a 1,500-pound hoist. And so here I am just getting started. I'm cutting the rails, the vertical rails, you call it a track if you'd like, to length. And I've got, these are roughly 8-foot lengths. I've got more material against the wall there. I've got to cut those as well. I'm going to make sure it's exactly the same length on both sides. I'm going to fab up some pads, some base pads, so I can fasten it down to the concrete on one end, of course. And then on the other end, I'm going to fab up a mechanism to hold the hoist itself. And then I'm going to go on to building the trolley. So please keep watching. I will, put the video in several segments and post it in a variety of different steps. But thanks for watching. Have a great day. All right. Again, coming back, I've got to the next step. And as you can see, I fabbed up some base plates that are going to be fastened into the concrete. And I cut the U-channel to precise lengths, so they're exactly the same length. And I put these metal tabs here. These are couplers. They're just tacked on there right now, but I will finish welding those out once I'm finished doing some rough painting before going forward. I felt that it was easier to paint most of it now before I erect it and and have to try to paint it on a ladder in the air with spray paint or whatever. So I'm going to do most of it now. What I plan to do next, after the paint dries, I'm going to lay the 4 pieces and weld the seams, and then I'm going to put some cross members on the back side of the lift track, and that's going to help keep it perfectly aligned from one rail to the next before I go ahead and then work on the mounting plate for the hoist. So keep watching. I'll come back in a bit. You can see it's a bit of a disaster. I've got I've been doing a lot of cutting and grinding and of course a bit of welding, not too much, but keep watching, and come back in a bit with an update. All right, everyone, coming back again here. I've got my tracks completely fabbed up. You can see I've got several of these pads here that mount it to the side of the building. You can see a couple of holes on the wall there. So this thing is completely, I've got all these cross braces keeping the tracks at fixed distance from each other. And I had to use a tubular piece of material because I ran out of 1-inch square at the top there, but it's all right. And what I'm doing now is just kind of buffing out some of the welds, cleaning up a little bit of spatter, and I'm getting ready to paint it with some rusty metal primer. And then I'm going to go to paint, and I'm going to paint everything except for the inside of the track, since there's going to be some wheels rolling in there, and it really doesn't make sense to paint that. It's just going to get abraded. So but I wanted to just come back. It's been several weeks since I've gotten back on this project, and so I'm finally getting at it here. And what's going to happen is I'm going to paint this, and then I'm going to stick it back up into the attic space there, vertical, and then I'll be ready to start building the trolley system. And it's a bit of a disaster in here right now. You can see this is the electric hoist I'm going to be running. I'm going to run it with a double line. So this is I'm going to make up a bracket that's going to weld to the trolley or the lift itself, whatever you want to call it. And so that'll be fastened on there. This will be mounted on the top of this beam here, and hanging, of course, vertically, the cable. And then, like I said, the trolley will go up and down when this is in a vertical position. So I'll come back again when I'm a little bit further along, and I'm ready to shoot a bit more give everyone an update. Thanks for watching. All right, so here we are back again, and I've got it painted with 2 coats of primer, and then now I'm putting a coat of gray on it. And it's coming along. I've just been cleaning up the shop a little bit here. But basically, it's ready to, I've got to flip it over and paint the other side, which will be the inboard side facing the shop. And then I'll be ready to put it in, to put it back up and start building the trolley. So once I get it erected back up into that space and it's all fixed to the wall, and I'm ready to go on to the next step, I'll come back and take a video of it installed.